Welcome to the Buylist. This is episode 23.
This is not financial advice. This is cardboard. Let's dive into it, Ted. What are we talking about this week?
We're doing some deep diving on some Majestics. Actually, some legendaries made the cut this week as well.
Yeah.
Some things have moved around since we did get some spoilers from Singapore. We talked about them on Saturday, but the first card here, let's just jump into it. Nate, Carrion Husk. Mark this one as a hold. Especially since the spoilers over the weekend, Vincent was just from her text box doesn't. I guess I'll just say it, a bold statement here, but I don't see her running this card. I think she doesn't look fast enough to run Husk. So I'm on the hold train here. I do think Levia might get some extra support. Maybe she gets the Azalea treatment. Maybe she just gets a little bit extra, and then Husk will be used there for sure.
Yeah. The reason it was so good in Chain was because there was such an overarching like power to that deck that you had this like end game inevitability. Vincent has inevitability to a degree, but not to the same level.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, at least until we see additional cards, I don't think that she can run this card because she has no way to turn off Blood Debt. And you taking a ping and then taking an additional ping to do this like unblockable to get to your inevitability, a lot of pings to take to try to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And they can just go Sigil of Solace with their new promo.
Yeah.
And you go, oh no, this is not inevitable anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so this card saw some, as you can see on the graph here, right? Back in February, it was sitting around $100. It saw some movement upwards. Definitely once we got into April, you can see it bumped up quite a bit, sitting at 155 right now, and trailing off a bit. Yeah, this one's just a hold. It's not selling too quickly on TCG Player right now, so I think maybe we're just chilling on this for a minute. But yeah, I would not run out and buy a Husk right now. I would wait to see, because if it ends up being where Levia uses it only moving forward, that 154 might continue to creep downward.
Yeah. Unless Levia gets the old Azalea treatment, and not the old Katsu treatment.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's jump over to our second card here. Fractal Replication. Nate, you picked this one out. Go ahead and take it.
I was I was lying in bed awake at night, and I was thinking, not actually, I was just scrolling through TCG Player, and I was like, wait, why the F is this card $4 now? And then I read the text box again, and I realized that Prism's going to get a Unity card. This card would copy the Unity of whatever the Unity card is. And presumably it will probably be like a block 3 Herald with, like, if you block with another card, generate a Spectral Shield. So you can block 6 and get 2 Spectral Shields? That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's real good. And the fact that this is a 0 as well is important because of how expensive Prism looks to be in her current build. So I think that like you could potentially go like 2 card or 3 card like Wartune Herald red into pay for the go again off of Luminaris, which barf at paying 2 for that. But then into this, and that's a 3 card 14, which is still good, but not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's definitely interesting and definitely a card to keep an eye on, because the inventories, like we see this with Everfest Majestics, if it becomes very playable and highly sought after, it will be in the teens. So I would pick it up now because it's only $4, and the risk reward there is pretty low. So if you are aiming to play new Prism, definitely a card I would want in my back pocket.
Yeah, you can see from the graph too, to your point, Nate, that this card is even recently just spiked 3 times, right? I think, and it doesn't take that much, especially with only 33 non-foil listings. I mean, there's probably more than one in each of those listings. So like it's not 33 cards, it's just a listing there. And then 18 listings for the rainbow foil. But it's kind of cooled off a bit and it's just chilling at $4 right now. But yeah, I agree with you. At $4, I'd pick these up. I think back in Prism's day, like when Prism was around, this card was closer to 10 even. So yeah,
That
it's
was when Prisms thought it was playable, and then they realized it wasn't very
yeah,
good.
then it's like, oh wait. So yeah, I think this card right now, especially with the Unity, getting 2 Spectral Shields and blocking for 6 is pretty good actually.
Not that we know that that's what it's going to do.
Yeah,
but
not that we
I
know, but
mean,
I guess taking an educated guess. I mean, realistically, whatever Unity Prism's Unity gives her is probably going to be pretty good to get 2 of them.
yeah,
I mean, if one,
yeah,
if one's okay, two's better. I would imagine you'd be pretty happy with it. So,
yep.
all right, let's jump over to our third card here, Crown of Dominion. Um, yeah, $45 for the rainbow foil, $62, call it, for the cold foil. Just by like, you might as well. It's so close. It's kind of amazing how close these are. You kind of just
Yeah.
grab the cold foil if you're looking for it, and you can. But yeah, Crown's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen it pop up a couple times. I mean, on Dynasty release, I was picking up the rainbow foils for like 18, 20, and then like cold foils for 30.
Mm-hmm.
And then people realize this card is very, very good. It's a generic headpiece that has a very unique interaction,
Mm-hmm.
which is creating that gold token.
Yep.
And honestly, like if it depends on what kind of card pool Vincent has, I can easily see her running this. I can
Yeah.
see like if New Dory's getting more support and maybe even getting like coin support. Very good card there as well, because Dory already has one way to create copper, which is Spoils of War.
Mm.
And there's a couple other cards within her card pool that assist in the coin creation mechanic, but only for single-handed weapons. I think it's Outland Skirmish.
Mm.
Um, so like if you can run this to like this basically pays for your first cash in, and then all you have to do is create a couple extra copper tokens to pay for your second.
Yep.
Very good card. If Dory gets support, big hands with Dory are very scary because there's so many different options that she has. You can't just like block over by 3. And guess what? Briarden LO yet.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Viserai. I think
Yep.
the de facto build for Viserai that Zach Bunn took to a top 8 at the calling in Baltimore. Definitely running this card. I've been playing that build, and yeah, it's just like, yeah, you get to go fast in your aggro matches. Grabbing those 2 extra cards with Viz is quite strong. I am sure he will get some support as well. And I think I've said it before, but after playing that deck a handful of times, like the deck's pretty close. It's clunks out a little bit, but
Yep.
if he gets a card or 2 that's like primo, yeah, watch out for him. I think he's right on the cusp of breaking out, and being a top meta pick for sure.
And there's just not a lot. Like you look at like 21 rainbow foils and 14 cold foils, like inventory is very thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
Dynasty
sure.
inventory across the board is very thin.
Yeah, the site kind of got dropped quickly, and it doesn't really get open too much,
No.
just because, uh, yeah, it's a supplemental set, and it's a very forward-thinking set, and I think it's like not a ton of playable cards yet in that set.
Yep.
All right, let's jump down to our 4th card here, Imposing Vistage. Yeah, so this card, I think we talked about Starstruck maybe an episode or 2 back. I think this card's definitely going to see an uptick with Bravo. If Bravo gets more than Starstruck, or yeah, I think he's going to be quite scary. This card going and grabbing Showtime, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good card is good. It's an Everfast Majestic. So we've seen time and time again. If it's playable, it will be in the teens or like high single digits. And we were already seeing a lot of sell through in the past 7 days. It's going to be on the move. If you want to play Bravo, this is definitely a card to pick up because by the time we hit Dust Till Dawn, I would expect this card to probably be at least $5.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think Bravo. Well, and we also have to comment too that Oldhim LLing, I think will have an effect on Bravo's stonks
Yeah.
because Guardian mains now only have one place to go, and that
Yep.
is Bravo. So the diehards out there, the people that just love playing Guardian, will jump back to Bravo, um, and start picking him up again. Again, I mentioned it on the last card or maybe the card before too. Again, current listings, there might be more than one quantity per listings, so there is a decent amount there. But 45 sold in the last week. I think people are kind of onto this card already. And looking at the graph too, fairly stable, but like you said, I can see this doubling in price as Dust Till Dawn spoilers start dropping.
Yeah. Easy 3 of in any Bravo deck. Because what's funny, we are currently in a meta where everyone wants to go second. So being forced into going first as Bravo is actually kind of a plus. You can either dominate, or if you draw Imposing Visage, you can go tutor up either Crippling Crush, Pulverize, Starstruck, whatever like the best card in your deck is,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you just draw 2 blues with this card.
Yep.
And if you draw 3, then like you can heave a Pulverize, which is like nuts value.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
good card is good.
for sure. All right, Nate. Yeah, quick episode. Yeah, we can jump back. But yeah, I think these 4 cards. Keep an eye on them. Yeah, Husk. I still, kind of a hold. Don't really want to call it a sell per se, because I'm still holding out hope that Levia gets a little bit of something extra. I think she's kind of got the numbers. She just needs a way to fix her inherent flaw. And I'm sure they can do that. I think there was a talk at Worlds with the developers, right? There were some questions being asked, and they even mentioned that her design was changed kind of at the last minute, and all of her cards didn't kind of get updated for that new design for her release design. So I think if it was me, if I was a designer working on her, right, I would really be pushing every day at LSS and be like, hey, can we print an arm slot or something for her to give her like some extra, give her back some of the power that we designed her to have, and fix her up a bit. So I could see that definitely happening, or some Majestic, right, that really gets her revved up. So like, all hope is not lost on Husk, but Vincent is not looking fast enough currently to play Husk right now. But again, we don't know nothing. We literally know the heroes and a handful of Unity cards. So that could all change very quickly depending on the sport in this set.
I'm really excited to see. I know they've said a couple times that with Dust Till Dawn, that it's something that they've never done with a supplemental set before. So what that means, I have no idea. Is this just going to be a Shadow and Light set, and everyone who's not in it is going to get a specialization, and that's it? Or because man, that feels bad for every dash main. Like every dash main is like, please, I have the smallest card pool in the world. But it will be interesting. I'm very excited to see where they go with it. I think that Levia is a hard hero to design without breaking, because you are right, like the numbers are big. She just doesn't have any on hits. She dies to on hits. Like having to block down her hand consistently. Yeah, and having like no blocks. It's such a mixed bag. LSS, if you're listening, please just put block on brute cards. All I'm asking for. As someone who loves playing Rhinar, like just Put a 2 in the bottom. Don't even care. Just at least let it block a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I promise Wild Ride and Bare Fangs are not that good. They could have blocked they could have blocked 4 and it would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be all offense, right? All gas, no brakes, but sometimes that gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess to wrap up the episode, Nate, buy list. My buy list this week is kind of fancy dancy over here. I need a cold foil library and a cold foil Blood of Jakai to kind of like round out my collection of fableds that I can feasibly still be married and purchase. So that doesn't include obviously that doesn't include the alpha and the first block even the Arcanite shard I can't even. That's like $3,000. I can't go there. But
What's that about?
if I can find a library and that Blood of Jakai, I'll have this set.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I picked up some cold foil reaping blades this week in preparation for Rosetta Thorn, eventually LLing. And they didn't have any cold foils. And I picked one up. Okay, so we talked a little bit about like the summer like lull or doldrums, I think is what it's like called in like some circles. But I picked up a cold foil reaping blade for $42. It's a PSA 8, but it looked pretty clean.
Really?
It looked reasonable. Like for $40, sheesh, that's a deal, buddy.
Yeah, not bad. I was in discussions with Righteous Gaming a little bit to pick up a cold foil. He had a super clean one, and as we were talking about it, it sold on his TCG player account, so I had to let it go. I do have one. It's graded PCG. Came in a 9. I was really would like a 9.5 on that. But yeah, I'm kind of just keeping my eye out for that cold foil just to try to get that 9.5. They're super hard though. Like Crucible is kind of rough. Edges and stuff are tough. I thought the one I had was clean, but came back a little scuffed, but that's okay.
I picked up actually 2 graded ones. I'm just gonna crack them, leave them raw.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on this pod, but I know I have on my streams and stuff, is that I get every Rune Blade weapon in cold foil and slab it. So currently I have the full set. Actually, that's not true. I didn't realize this, but there was a cold foil Dust Blade or cold foil Galaxy Black that was a promo. That's not the alt art. I thought it was, so I had to find one of those, bought one of those, and it's waiting in my pile to be graded. I have like a giant stack to send to PCG. So
nice.
Yeah. So I have all the cards. I just don't have them all graded just yet. So, but yeah, I'm hunting some fableds this week.
What happens if like there's like artists sketched like 1 of 1 Rosetta Thorn?
Currently my rules are if it's a cold foil weapon, I gotta slab it. So if it's an artist sketch, it would be cool, but it doesn't. Those are my rules, and I have to follow them. Like I can't break those rules because then it gets real out of control.
What if it's Federico?
Mm-mm. Yeah, it'd be tough. Yeah. What's crazy is that like Runeblade, there's a lot of Runeblade weapons in this game, guys.
Yeah.
It's sure. Like I picked the one that has maybe the most. I have like Dread Scythe and all. It's like, yeah, there's a lot out there. Annals of Sutcliffe.
I forgot they printed that card.
Yeah, that's a cold foil I had to get. And I thought I had a clean one again, and they came back a 9. And I was like, no. So I gotta find another one of those too. But it's so hard to find them, right? Because it's like I'm like a $5 card. I'm like, hey, can you send me pictures?
Yeah.
Like I need it clean, and they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like shut up! I'm not doing this. So
Sir,
yeah,
this is an Arby's?
yeah. What are you doing? So
Oh shit.
yeah. So that's the life I'm living currently.
Nice, nice. I get if you're still listening at this point, we do have some really cool content coming down the pike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think we're gonna do some special episodes leading into Dust Till Dawn too. Maybe talking to some um, like stores, diving into some other subjects that I think will be really cool and interesting. So if you want to get notified of that, click the subscribe button,
Mm-hmm.
drop kick that like button, and what's the other thing? I
Ring the
always
bell.
forget.
Gotta ring the
Ring
bell. Get
that
notified.
bell.
Yep. Yep.
So
And I appreciate all the support, everyone. And like Nate said, we do have we're going to be expanding the format a bit. And I think I'm pretty excited about it. We got some ideas cooking, and I think it's going to be really good and really good for the community, hopefully, so we can get out there. Hopefully it gets in front of a lot of eyes and stuff. So,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. Thanks everybody. Thanks for all the support.
Peace.
Peace.